Hey there, Michael Griffiths here, founder of Referral Marketing Guru, and welcome to this week's Get More Referrals Today podcast. This is a channel to help you get more referrals, to be able to grow your business, to be able to get more clients, but more importantly, to be able to limbic your business from top to bottom. So what's this limbic your business? It's all about changing the way you think from being logical, boring, cortex brain focus to being this heartfelt, more profound, having this feeling based way of doing business. Because when you do that, you create what we call more extraordinary moments. And the more extraordinary moments you have, really simple, you're going to be spoken about more often. Clients are going to want to stay with you longer. Clients are going to go and shout from the rooftops of how great you are, and filling your pipeline, growing your business is actually so much easier than what people make it out to be. So let's get ourselves stuck into today. As always, if you love the episode, make sure you share it. Just with one other person, you're going to be doing them a huge favor in being able to help them grow their business also. So today I want to talk about marketing, but more in particular, probably why your marketing's not working. And it's not working because you're not doing the right things. It's not working because you're not doing all the things. In essence, there are 4 key areas that we're going to be able to focus on if we really want our marketing to work. And as you're going to see, what most people think about as the very first thing, it's actually the least important of them all. And what we need to be doing is getting through all the different stages to make sure that, again, we've got marketing that works. Now, marketing is this word that people throw out there, which I could probably ask 5 people, what's marketing mean to you? And I'll get 5 different answers. Because in essence, people just use the word and they go, oh, that's getting leads, or that's getting exposure, or that's getting my business seen. And none of the things that people talk about are incorrect, but it's so much deeper than that. And for most people, they're nowhere near profound enough in their strategy to really grasp how to run good marketing campaigns. So I'm going to do this. People who are watching this, you can always watch this on our YouTube channel, on any of our social platforms. I'm going to draw some things out. If you're listening to this on the podcast, not a problem. Play along at home. You can even draw this out if you wanted to yourself. So there are 4 layers. So if you're playing along at home on the podcast, draw a triangle with 4 different spaces. There are 4 layers. The very first layer that people talk about really is about what channel should I be using? So that sits at the very top. So you might go, okay, my channel is on Facebook, or it's on LinkedIn, or it's at networking events, or it's through referrals, or it's through sponsorships, it's through paid ads. It doesn't matter what you choose. Good on you, whatever you're picking. That's the channel. The channel's job is to be able to simply get yourself seen in front of the right sort of people. The people who have the pain point that you solve and are looking for a solution. So that's the channel's job. Now, for a lot of people, that's the only thinking that they do. Where to me, it's actually the last thing that we should be doing. Okay? The thing that we need to be doing before that is that we actually need to make sure that we have some sort of strategy to how we're going to make sure that when people see us, they end up coming into our pipeline. They end up coming into our audience. So there needs to be a strategy before you even worry about the channel to how am I bringing people in and around, people who are qualified, people who have the pain point that I solve, people who are the ideal sort of person that I want to be working with. Now, for a lot of people, think about it. Have you gone to networking events where you've just turned up with a bunch of business cards and that's been about it? No strategy. Have you gone and tried to get referrals and just simply threw mud at the wall hoping that it would stick? No strategy. Have you spent money before on Google ads, on SEO, on pay-per-click? And really, you haven't thought about the strategy. Or even worse, You've put the strategy in someone else's hands who don't understand your business anywhere near to the extent that you understand your business. Have you been posting on social media? Have you been commenting? Have you been putting stuff up? What's the strategy? So the strategy should dictate the channel, not the other way around. But for most people, that's not the case. For most people, it is the other way around. And we just worry about the channel without actually thinking about the strategy. But the thing that should come before the strategy is actually being really dialed in on your message. Because if your message isn't right, it doesn't matter what strategy you use. You can use any strategy at all. And the simple fact is, the strategy won't work. And if the strategy doesn't work, guess what? The channel won't work either. I don't know how many times I hear people who will go, my Facebook ads don't work, or my Google ads don't work, or turn up to networking is a waste of time. It's got nothing to do with the channel, because there's lots of people who make it work. It's got to do with the strategy. But it's actually not even got to do with the strategy. It's probably got to do with your message. And how dialed in are you in terms of what you do, how you do it, who you help, and the results that you get for that person. Because the message dictates what you're putting up. What does the ad look like? What does a post look like? What does a script look like? What does the ask look like? And they've all got to be able to resonate with each other. If the message doesn't resonate with the strategy and the people, then the channel's never going to work. But then there's one other thing, which honestly, most people haven't thought about. Sure, I've heard people talk about message strategy channel before. But this thing down the bottom actually dictates all three of the things above. And we don't dive into this anywhere near enough because it comes down to your thinking. And if your thinking is, as we call this, cortex, logical, rational, analytical, boring way of thinking, guess what your message is going to be? Exactly the same. Guess what your strategy is going to be? Exactly the same. Guess what your channel is going to be? Doesn't matter, because the strategy is too logical. The message is too logical. And that comes from your thinking. See, within your thinking, and we simply just sort of go that, hey, there are two parts within that brain. Okay? We've got the cortex part of the brain, which is the logical, rational, analytical, boring part of the brain, as I call it. But that's where you sit for 95% of your day, simply because your cortex brain helps you to survive. You know that constant talk you have in your head? Will this work? Will it not work? I should do this. Maybe this is a good idea. That's your cortex brain having a conversation logically with yourself. So therefore, you come up with your message and you go, oh yeah, that sounds really good. But then someone else looks at your message and it doesn't resonate with them. Or you come up with this strategy and you go, oh, that strategy, it makes a lot of sense. The only problem with the strategy that makes a lot of sense is that it won't have any feeling in it. See, over on this other side, this limbic part of the brain, it controls all human behavior. It controls all decision making. But it's only feeling based. It doesn't even understand words. So if your message doesn't evoke a particular feeling within them, therefore your strategy won't ever work. So the message has to evoke a feeling. The strategy has to take them on a journey that makes them feel. And now all of a sudden, whatever channel you use, you're going to hit it out of the park. So my simple thing for you right now is, whatever you're doing, don't just focus up the top there on the channel. Now, marketing people exist to be able to help you with Facebook ads, with networking, with paid ads, with Google SEO, whatever else, with social media posts, etc., etc. The list goes on. So if you're going in at that level, you're already losing. And you're losing because the next level down has to be around strategy. Now, for most people, because you sit in that cortex part of the brain, not over in that green limbic part of the brain, your strategy probably has great stepping stones. It probably makes perfect sense. But the thing that it's missing is the journey that your prospect comes on, the journey that the person looking at your channel comes on. And if it's missing the feeling of the journey that they're supposed to come on, then plain and simple, it's not going to work. And then that comes down to how emotional is your message? How emotional is the results that you get for people? How feeling based in terms of what you do and how you do it. When someone looks at your message, do they get shivers down their spine? And if I'm being honest, it's lucky if probably 5% of messages I hear out there actually even create that. Because we're too bland and we're trying to capture everybody in our net. And therefore we capture nobody. Therefore, strategy is already destined to fail. And the channel, you may as well give your money to somebody else because it's never going to work. So here's the big problem. If you're using marketing and marketing people that don't even understand the limbic brain, which is, by the way, probably 99.9% of them, then what is actually going to happen in your message? What is going to happen with your strategy? What is going to happen when they take your money to be able to put on Facebook ads or Google ads? When they organize getting your sponsorship at an event? When they talk about your social posts or even do your social posts, what's going to happen? People are going to go, oh yeah, that's really good, but that's all they're going to do. See, we're in this add value part of society right now. It's not about adding value. It's about adding emotion. It's not about, oh, well, if I sound really good here, then maybe they're going to eventually come and buy my stuff. No, they're just going to keep watching your stuff and go, oh yeah, that was nice, and then move on to whatever they've got to do next. See, we've got to get better at understanding the stepping stones, but we're going to get better at actually understanding our thinking so that we then can actually make a difference and make a greater impact and get a better result. That is why most marketing will never work. It's got nothing to do with your channel. It's got nothing to do with your strategy. It's got probably very little to do with your message. It has everything to do with the way you think across those three areas. So I want you to go and look at your latest marketing campaign, the one you're running right now, the one that's bringing in people for you. And when you look at that, ask yourself a couple of questions. Is it really logical? And if it is, it probably doesn't have the emotional feeling that's required. Do I actually even have a strategy in place? Do I know where they're going to go? What's going to happen after they come into my pipeline or audience? Am I really clear with my message that it evokes an emotion and the ideal person looks at it and just goes, yes, that's exactly what I want? And what are you doing to upskill your limbic brain thinking? When you put those together, now you've got marketing that's going to work. So hopefully that's been super helpful and a little bit delightful. In the end, the limbic advantage is all about being able to limbic your business from top to bottom. And it has to start with changing you from a cortex, logical, analytical, rational way of being to a feeling controlling other people strategically, influencing other people tactically. And it's actually something that's not hard to do. So, again, hopefully it's been super helpful. Share this with one person. That's the only request that I ask. If you're going to come join us over on our YouTube channel, Referral Marketing Guru, so that way then you can see what I've drawn out if you've just been listening to the podcast. So head over to YouTube, Referral Marketing Guru, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. We're always putting up great videos throughout the week also to help you think about how could I just limbic my business that little bit more? How do I increase my referrals, my client retention? How do I skyrocket my client loyalty? Because in essence, business doesn't have to be hard. And I don't care what's happening in the world. Business is not hard when you've got your stuff in order. Nothing is more important than a world that it has rising costs and inflation and all the rest of it, to have your marketing working and working in a way that's going to bring new people in. Because not everyone shuts up shop. There's lots of people who are growing, who right now are building, who right now are going to reach their targets all the time. And I want you to be one of them. So again, make sure you hit that subscribe button on your favorite podcast platform. Leave a review if you're loving it. If you need any questions answered, make sure you reach out. You can either find us and comment underneath one of our social posts, shoot an email, and find out more at michaelgriffiths.com.au. Till next time, take care, and I'll speak to you real soon. See you later, all.